In this interview, I talked to Scott Cole, named as one of the top 5 fitness instructors in the world. Now, Scott has trained A-list celebrities like Christian Bale for the film American Psycho and Baywatch babe Gena Nolin. And now he's going to share with you his layering approach to weight loss for people of all ages. So I hope you enjoyed the interview. What was the most important lesson that you think that you learned when you first got serious about fitness?
I think, Angel, that it starts within. I think a lot of people come up and say, I want to get rid of the flab under my arms, I want to get firmer core, I want to do all this external stuff. And I started looking at the people that I admire. I admire great athletes and people who have a focus, an internal drive to do something, set a goal, do something great for themselves. So I began approaching it that way, that I wanted to get up every day and say, what am I going to do today? How am I going to nurture myself? How am I going to change the world for the better, or at least contribute in a way that feels honorable, magnificent, challenging? So I started to look at my life from the inside out.
What common things do you see people do wrong then when they first start exercising?
Oh, I think that people try to do too much too fast. They get on this binge, and what happens is when you have let's say a lifetime or at least 3 or 5 years of bad habits, some people can quit cold turkey, as we say, but sometimes you need to do what I call a layering approach. So make a list of healthy choices you want to do and start doing them 1 at a time or 2 at a time. If someone is very overweight and wants to lose weight, I tell them over time it's going to be very important for you to cut out sodas, cut out sugars, cut out white breads and things that are very carby and turn to sugar fast, because that's what's going to make you really prone to diabetes and obesity. It's also very important to send the message to your body to get up and move your body. So I always say, get up early, breathe, go outside if you can, if it's not 3 degrees or whatever and frozen with snow. Get outside, move around, breathe, and send your body a message that I really care about me, I really care about you. And that's layer 1. So you add that layer, you get confident with that, and then you keep adding these other layers. So eventually you've got this really amazing life that is multidimensional, and your body will streamline naturally to reflect all of the good energy that you're putting your body through. When we're not putting our body through good intentions and good energy, the body responds. It's like a child. We nurture, we want to treat the body and mind with a great deal of respect. So, and that includes exercise, eating well, and sleeping well.
So what's the best piece of fitness advice anyone ever gave you?
To trust my instincts and be myself. And I also tell people that now. I say, you know a lot more than you think. So when someone's trying too hard, you notice that, and it I think gets in the way of the work sometimes. So I've also learned that it's really good to listen, really be a great listener, and speak when you feel the need to speak. So,
what hot health and fitness tip have you got for people that they can take away from this and they can put into action right away?
I don't know if this will be considered hot, but I always say breathe and bend your knees. And I say that because no matter what you're doing, if you're working out hard and blocking your energy, the energy is not going through your body, so you might end up with more muscles, but you're going to have more tension. So you want to learn to really soften into your workout, and it goes back to that letting go of that no pain, no gain complex that we went through for 20 years. You can work out, I work out really hard, but I also really stretch a lot. That would be the other thing. I would say flexibility is the forgotten component of fitness. If you look at any great athlete, any great performer, flexibility is going to be a part of what makes them look good, feel good, and when you watch them, their body language is very inviting as a human. I feel like the more flexible you are, rather than being so tight and seeing, tension in the neck or tension in the shoulders, it also makes you a lot more relaxed, a lot more able to deal with people, and just more comfortable. I'm sitting on my floor right now, cross-legged, and feels great.
What's the most important thing a beginner can do to make their exercise routine a habit?
They have to love it. They have to learn to love it. And I have people that say, well, there's nothing I really like to do. And I say, well, that's kind of your problem. I mean, life is very diverse and rich and wonderful, and there are so many activities that can be appealing. So I try to help them get through that psychological block. It usually means they're in a state of complacency, perhaps a little bit of depression. So rather than get angry at them, I try to pull it out and say, come on, I know there's something you like to do. And then I'll go back and say, what did you like to do as a kid? And then maybe you can kind of hone in on it. If someone has a really long way to go, I'll start with simple things like Tai Chi, actually QiGong, ancient Chinese healing and breathing exercises are great for beginners because they get them back in tune with their breath and with their body, and maybe start to move energy around to where they can start to work through whatever it is that's blocking them. I believe that a person's natural state is one of good health, not of blocked, diminished health. So we have to all get back to that first step of, why am I not loving myself enough to work out every day? And getting in the pool is a great way. Get people started in the pool, just breathing and moving like a kid. I get people in the pool all the time, and it's great to talk and converse. The water provides a natural nurturing. I mean, we're made of water, so it makes sense that water would be something nurturing for us, so that could help us get back on track.
There's lots of unreliable information on the internet. Can you debunk some myths about fitness for us?
Sure. One of them would be you cannot spot reduce. So let's say we have fat around our midsection. You can do 1,000 sit-ups or crunches and it won't make any difference in the world. It will strengthen you underneath, but I always say you have to excavate like Tut's tomb. You have to reveal the abs of steel that lie underneath perhaps the layer of fat. So in order to reduce your body fat, you have to work the whole body. So that's why I teach whole body connection. I don't do what I call component training anymore. So that would be another myth that doing bicep curls solo and then doing tricep extensions. It's good, but you want to involve the whole body. So the more you can stand and sink into your leg base while you're doing these things, or sometimes I'll stand on one leg and do my bicep curls, because when I do that, it forces my abdominals to work a little harder to balance me. So there are a lot of things like that you can do, increase your functional training by challenging the body in a different way. What other myths would there be? Oh, dieting. I hate the word diet. I don't like to use the word hate, but I'll use it in reference to dieting because, we've sent the wrong message to people. Because when someone is so worried about what they're eating that they're avoiding avocados or almonds or things that are really, really healthy for you, those should not be avoided. Your body needs natural fat for oils to the skin and for metabolic processing. So if someone's dieting and avoiding fat, your body thinks it's starving. So that's when you'll store fat. And people, even thin people store fat because they're not eating enough and properly. So you get this, your fat content might be higher than you want it to be because you're skipping meals and maybe not fueling your body like a furnace. It's like keeping a fire going. If you let the fire go down, you have to build it all up again. So as long as the fire is burning a little bit, put a little more in there. Like a gas tank too, you don't let it run to empty. And if you're going to have a glass of wine or a cocktail, I tell people have one. it works for the French. All that red wine seems to be great. So I think there are some qualities of wine that perhaps we don't understand how they work. Or maybe that's my way of rationalizing because I really like a good glass of red wine.
Yeah, we drink red wine. We read the Blue Zones book where they were talking about the people in Sardinia who live to be over 100 and they have one glass of red wine every day and they say it's very important.
And they also have olive oil in their diets, all of those societies. Well, the Japanese that live a long time, the Okinawans, have fish oil. Oils are a vital component to longevity. So I buy organic olive oil down in Baja, Mexico. I go across the border into Baja California, Baja Mexico, and bring back this great olive oil. I actually even put it on my skin. I'll take a spoonful in the morning sometimes, just so I can make sure I get enough throughout the day. So yes, I think the studies of Sardinia and certainly Greece, Italy, Japan, certain areas, they usually have a very organic outdoor relationship, body to nature, lots of great community and lots of great organic food. So I do agree on that.
Can you recount any inspiring stories that have been significant where you've really helped change somebody's life?
Yes. Well, one thing you might find interesting, I'll start with a celebrity story, and then I'll go into perhaps the deeper aspect of it. 10 years ago, almost 11 actually, I trained actor Christian Bale for his film American Psycho, and at the time he was a budding movie star. Now he's a big blockbuster star, and we worked every day, and he changed his body so much within the month we worked together that he landed the cover of Time magazine. And I felt very validated with that because I had the opportunity to work with someone very driven on the physical front to really change his body to get into a movie role. I never saw the movie because it's about a serial killer that goes wacky in the 80s. Have you seen it?
I have, yeah.
Well, I get emails still from people that say, "Oh, well, I know you trained Christian Bale. American Psycho is my favorite movie." I go, delete. Because, yeah, I'm just not into the subject matter. But I enjoyed training Christian. He was great when I knew him and trained him. So that was one nice story. Right now I have a client that's 84 years old, and she was questioning her balance. And so I've been working just easily. I'll maybe even show you a move here if I can clear the space. I've been working with her on getting in and out of a chair and using your chi or energy to breathe. I don't know if I can do this here or not, but anyway, when you sink into your leg base, I'm actually sitting on the floor. You can't see me, so I can't really stand up. But as you breathe and exhale and lean forward into your leg base, as you stand up, like Tai Chi, it gives you better balance. So I've been doing a lot of body work with people over 60 to help them maintain their balance. So I've been getting lots of emails and testimonials from people who have my Discover Tai Chi DVDs, or that I've worked with at conferences or privately, that are feeling so much more confident in their bodies, and even at these what we would say later stages in the mid-80s, they're making improvements, which is very exciting for someone, because in their mind, a lot of them think, well, I'm just going to get more arthritic, more stiff. This is just the way it is. Now, people tell me that all the time. Well, when you get to be, I'm like, no. Don't even go there. I know sometimes physicality wanes, but I don't know. I'm 48, and I play beach volleyball with 21-year-olds, and usually I have a higher fitness level than they do. And I know at some point it's going to change a little bit. But I'm going to go as nicely as I can into aging, and not apologize for it, but just embrace it and keep doing some of these softer methods that I've seen work and that I know are working for me as well. I have another woman in my class. Her name's Claire. She came in kind of wobbly into the room. It's my Monday morning class that's a blend of yoga and Tai Chi together. And she stood there at the door. And Angel, I actually felt like she was standing there trying to decide whether she wanted to participate in life anymore. That's the spiritual message I got, just by her body language. And she was kind of looking, going, yeah, I don't know. She came in, she said, do you mind if I sit and watch class? I said, sure, go ahead. So she did a little bit, then she'd sit down. Well, now she's the front row star of class. She doesn't have to have anything to hold on to. She has these beautiful dancer-like pliés where she opens up. There's a move called tabletop stretch where you turn your feet out and you lengthen into the stretch and you flatten your back. She looks like a 30-year-old when she does that. So I have women and men, but more women in my class that are really defying age. And I love it. I love it.
Wow, that's really inspiring. How did you actually discover Tai Chi in the first place? How did you get introduced to it?
My life had felt so contrived, so planned. Like everything, I would always, make sure everything was okay. And then when you do that, usually things are not okay. So a friend of mine, not particularly a close friend, just one day in Los Angeles said, oh, you want to take a Tai Chi class? And I said, yeah. And the irony of it is, we both went. He never went again. And then here I am with one of my main goals and missions is to mainstream Taoist principle, philosophy, and Tai Chi related exercise into the Western world. So that one question and me saying yes changed my life. So I always offer that to people, that you never know what one question from a stranger, one conversation. I always ask people to get their eyes off of the pavement and look at who's around you, because usually what you need is right in front of you or right near you. That's the law of attraction. And I call it energy pooling.
Is there anything in particular that you do differently than when you first started out?
Always, always take the time to stretch. I know I'm emphasizing the stretching a lot. When I go to the post office, the grocery store, if I'm waiting in line, I'm real conscious of the way I stand there. I try not to stand. Let me see if I can get a little view here. I'm out in my guest house, so everything's a little different out here because they were doing the yard. Let's see if you can see that. So when I stand up, I try to make sure I'm not like cocking weird into one hip, blocking my chi here, or doing this so my posture is bad. I'll try to stand there and just kind of bend my knees, feel my legs. And I'll even stretch. I'll put my arms on the edge of the countertop and stretch while I'm waiting in line at the bank, waiting in line at the post office. And it always gets a comment from people, elicits some dialogue, and also can get you moved to the front of the line really quickly.
Great advice. Okay, and can you describe a bit more the type of fitness programs than that you do?
One thing, I'm wearing this t-shirt that says CHILL on it. Can you see that? CHILL. And that's an acronym for a wellness initiative that I'm working on at the university, college university level. And it means creating healthy, informed, lasting lifestyles. Frostburg State University in Maryland, where I just got back from, has been bringing me in to be a presence of wellness on campus. So I'm using this one experience to answer the question, and that is everything. Everything that I've ever learned, I like to pull out when I teach. So I run the gamut from cardio, strength, relaxation, Tai Chi, life lessons. I'm doing a lot of corporate work now to go in to corporations. I have a program called Lighten Up, Loosen Up, Let Go, which take that multidimensionally, lighten up physically, lighten up mentally, lighten up spiritually, loosen up, let go of tension and stress.
Okay, and what advice would you give people who break their habit, who maybe have gone on holiday or something's come up and it's disturbed their habit? How can they get back on track again?
Well, again, psychologically, I say don't let that dump your tea cart. I mean, stay with it. Get back on. Put everything back on and say, you know what? Hey, I go off all the time too. There are times when I feel like, dang it, I know not to eat that, and I have a stomach ache. So rather than worry about it and cause more stomach ache, just move the energy along and start over and just say, all right, I know what that feels like now. And I also do guided imagery meditation. So if a client or a person is open to it, I will lead you through a white light guided imagery from the crown chakra all the way down to the soles of the feet. And within that, we will reframe some of the ways we think about ourselves from the inside out and learn that awareness of what you take into your body is very important, not just for your own health, but now I'm teaching more about how does it affect the environment. Are we eating local food grown in our area that supports local farmers? Are we eating processed junk that allows corporations to produce a bunch of crap that's bad for our bodies? So we need to learn as consumers and as individuals to really take responsibility for what we eat, how we treat ourselves, and also how our decisions affect other people, how they affect our health, how they affect the environment, how they affect, decisions in the United States, how do they affect England, Brazil, Antarctica, wherever. I'm not just teaching, be healthy and live happily ever after. I want people to really get in this beautiful worldwide zone of gratitude and awareness. And I think with that comes great joy. And when you have that great joy, you want to go outside, you want to exercise, you want to connect with people, and it just makes for a healthier existence.
Fantastic. That's an amazing way to end it. So thanks so much. It's been really inspiring talking to you today, and you've given us tons of valuable content that I'm sure our viewers are going to take away and really incorporate into their lives.
Great. And I want peace for everybody and health and happiness, and visit me anytime at my website, scottcole.com. I'd love to connect with anyone who wants to say hey.